The watch officer aboard USS Porter was staring at his screen when the impossible happened. "Sir, the Caspian Star just disappeared." Captain David Reynolds crossed the Combat Information Center in 3 strides. "What do you mean disappeared?" "AIS transponder just went dark. 500 feet of cargo ship carrying Russian weapon systems to Iran. Just vanished." Reynolds felt that familiar cold knot in his stomach. Ships don't just disappear. Not in the modern age of satellite tracking and electronic surveillance. Which meant someone had deliberately made this ship invisible. And the cargo aboard that vessel, advanced missile systems worth hundreds of millions, was now racing toward Iranian waters under radio silence. Once it docked, Iran's coastline would bristle with weapons capable of striking American bases across the Middle East. Gulf of Oman, July 15, 2025. 4:15 a.m. One Russian cargo ship gone dark. And a 78-minute chase that would prove why the United States Navy doesn't lose games of hide-and-seek. Stay with me, because this gets intense, and the ending will leave you breathless. Subscribe right now. This story has twists you won't see coming. Let me ask you something. If you wanted to smuggle advanced weapons into a country under sanctions, how would you do it? The Russians had thought this through carefully. The Caspian Star looked like any other commercial cargo vessel. 500 feet long. Container stacks on deck. Registry showing routine agricultural equipment and industrial machinery. Except hidden among those containers were Club K cruise missile systems, weapons that could be concealed in ordinary shipping containers, then deployed anywhere. Park one outside a shopping mall in Tehran, and it could strike targets hundreds of miles away. Also aboard, components for S-300 air defense systems, radar equipment, electronic warfare gear. Everything Iran needed to make the Persian Gulf significantly more dangerous for American forces. The plan was elegant. Turn off the AIS transponder at night. Blend in with hundreds of fishing boats and commercial traffic. Slip into Iranian territorial waters before dawn. Once inside that 12-mile limit, international law would protect the ship. Game over. What Russia didn't count on, the U.S. Navy had been tracking this ship since it left Novorossiysk 3 weeks earlier. Every port stop. Every course change. Every crew rotation. Captain Reynolds knew exactly what Caspian Star was carrying. And he had 78 minutes to stop it before it reached Iranian waters. But stopping a cargo ship sounds simple until Iran decides to defend it. At 4:23 a.m., 2 Iranian F-4 Phantom fighters scrambled from Bandar Abbas Air Base, armed with C-802 anti-ship missiles, vectoring toward USS Porter's last known position. The Iranian plan was clever. Use the Zagros Mountains as cover. The peaks rise over 6,000 feet along Iran's coast, high enough to block radar, creating dead zones where aircraft can hide. The F-4s flew low through the valleys, hugging terrain, using the mountains like a shield. American radar couldn't see them, couldn't track them, couldn't engage them. Then, at 4:31 a.m., both fighters executed a rapid vertical pop-up. Shot up from behind the peaks. Activated their fire control radars at maximum power. Painted USS Porter with targeting energy. Then dove back down into the valleys before American air defenses could react. A perfect ambush tactic. Reynolds faced an impossible choice. If he activated his high-power radar to search for the hidden fighters, the emissions would guide Iranian missiles straight to his ship. But going radar silent meant being blind to the Caspian Star racing toward safety. Classic dilemma. And the clock was ticking. Reynolds made his decision. Mkan Alpha. Shut down all radars. Go dark. His tactical officer looked shocked. Sir, we'll be blind. No, we won't. Reynolds keyed his communications. Skywatch, this is Porter Actual. I'm going dark. You're my eyes now. At 50,000 feet, far above where Iranian fighters or mountains could threaten, an MQ-4C Trident reconnaissance drone had been orbiting for hours. Watching. Waiting. Recording everything with sensors that could see through darkness like it was daylight. The Trident's data link transmitted directly to Porter's combat systems. Reynolds could see the Caspian Star on his screen. Updated position every second. Course. Speed. Time to territorial waters, 63 minutes. But the drone revealed something else. Iranian patrol boats launching from multiple ports. Fast attack craft racing to form a protective screen around the cargo ship. They were throwing everything they had into this operation. Iran wasn't just protecting a weapons shipment. They were defending a strategic capability that could change the balance of power in the region. Meanwhile, the Iranian F-4s continued their mountain game. Pop up. Illuminate. Dive back down. Trying to provoke Porter into activating radar. Trying to create a targeting opportunity. Reynolds watched the chess pieces moving on his display. Iran thought they were winning. They had no idea what was coming. This is where it gets good. Stay with me. At 4:41 a.m., the calm sea off the Iranian coast suddenly erupted. A geyser of white water shot 30 feet into the air. From the depths, a massive black shape burst through the surface, water cascading off steel that had been hidden beneath the waves for 4 hours. USS Virginia, a nuclear attack submarine. The most advanced undersea platform in the world. Silent. Deadly. Invisible until she chose to reveal herself. She surfaced directly in front of the Iranian patrol boats. Close enough that the Iranian captains could see her through binoculars. Close enough that her presence was unmistakable and overwhelming. The submarine's captain transmitted on international frequency. Iranian vessels, this is USS Virginia. We have been tracking you for 4 hours. Your hulls have been in our torpedo solutions the entire time. Stand down immediately. The psychological impact was devastating. Every Iranian boat captain suddenly realized they'd been hunted without knowing it. That invisible predator had been beneath them, watching, waiting, able to kill them at any moment. The Iranian patrol boats slowed. Stopped. Their commanders radiating back to headquarters, requesting instructions, uncertain whether to continue or retreat. Meanwhile, the Caspian Star kept racing toward territorial waters. 51 minutes remaining. But Iran had one more card to play. S-300 air defense systems along the coast began activating. Using shoot-and-scoot tactics, mobile launchers that would turn on their radars briefly, get a target lock, then shut down and relocate before they could be hit. P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft trying to track the Caspian Star suddenly found themselves being targeted. Warning receivers screaming. Iranian air defense radars painting them. Missile locks threatening. The P-8s had to back off. Couldn't get close enough to maintain visual contact with the cargo ship. The electronic battlefield was getting too hot. That's when the EA-18G Growlers arrived. For electronic warfare aircraft from the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group. Each one carrying jamming pods that could blind radars across multiple frequencies simultaneously. But they didn't jam. Not yet. Instead, they deployed decoys, small drones that Mimicked the radar signature of F/A-18 fighters. Made it look like a full squadron was inbound to attack Iranian air defenses. The deception worked perfectly. Iranian S-300 crews saw what appeared to be incoming fighters. Survival instincts kicked in. They activated their radars at maximum power, maintaining continuous transmission to track the threat. Those continuous transmissions gave the P-8 Poseidons everything they needed. Complete electronic signatures. Precise GPS coordinates. Every Iranian air defense system mapped and marked. Within minutes, the threat from the coast was neutralized, not by missiles, but by intelligence. The Iranian air defense network was now transparent. Every launcher visible. Every radar tracked. This is 21st century warfare. Information is the weapon. Agree? Let me know in the comments. At 5:18 a.m., the Caspian Star crossed the 14 nautical mile mark. 2 miles from Iranian territorial waters. 8 minutes from safety. Reynolds knew he was out of time. But he had one more move. USCGC James, a U.S. Coast Guard cutter, surged forward. Not a warship. A law enforcement vessel. Her mission, maritime safety inspection. Completely legal under international law. The Coast Guard broadcast on international frequency, Caspian Star, this is United States Coast Guard. We have detected safety violations on your vessel. You are required to stop for inspection. The Russian captain ignored the order. Kept racing toward Iranian waters. Betting that the Americans wouldn't dare use force against a civilian vessel. That's when the Triton drone overhead focused its sensors on one specific container. Number 894. Thermal imaging showed unusual heat signatures. Explosive materials. Weapons systems. The Triton's laser designator painted the container. Data transmitted on international emergency frequency, accompanied by a broadcast, Caspian Star, we have detected military-grade explosives in Container 894. If you proceed, we will be forced to neutralize the threat for maritime safety. Checkmate. The Russian captain finally understood. Continue, and that container gets destroyed, along with his ship's reputation and possibly the vessel itself. Stop, and face inspection that would expose everything. He requested emergency diversion to a neutral port. Denied. Every port in the region had been warned. No one would accept the Caspian Star. At 5:26 a.m., faced with no options, the Russian captain made the turn. Back toward the Atlantic. Thousands of miles. Millions in costs. Total mission failure. USS Porter and Virginia escorted the ship out of the region, not allowing it to slip away and try again. Let me give you the timeline. 4:15 a.m., Caspian Star goes dark. Disappears from tracking. 4:23 a.m., Iranian F-4s scramble to defend the ship. 4:31 a.m., mountain ambush tactics begin. 4:41 a.m., USS Virginia surfaces, psychological dominance established. 4:58 a.m. Electronic warfare neutralizes Iranian air defenses. 5:18 a.m., Coast Guard intercepts cargo ship. 5:26 a.m., Russian captain forced to turn back. 5:33 a.m., 78 minutes after going dark. Mission failed. Ship escorted out. Results. Russian weapons shipment denied. Iranian defensive operations neutralized. 0 shots fired. 0 casualties. Complete strategic victory. Russia and Iran. Planned for months. Coordinated operations. Used sophisticated tactics. Deployed multiple assets. And they were defeated without a single missile launch. without a single torpedo fired. By information dominance, electronic warfare, and strategic positioning. This is modern warfare. Not about who shoots first. About who controls the information space. Agree? Disagree? Let me know. Operation Shadow Cargo proved something crucial about 21st century naval power. You can't hide in the modern age. Not from satellites. Not from drones. Not from submarines that can track you. Silently from below. The technology gap isn't just about weapons, it's about awareness. About knowing everything while your enemy knows nothing. The crew of USS Porter executed flawlessly. Going dark when needed. Trusting their sensors. Playing the long game while Iran played for immediate tactical advantage. The Virginia-class submarine that surfaced at the perfect moment demonstrated why undersea dominance matters. Why being able to appear anywhere, anytime, changes every calculation. The electronic warfare crews who neutralized Iranian air defenses without firing a shot showed why information is the ultimate weapon. July 15, 2025. Gulf of Oman. 4:15 a.m. Russia tried to sneak advanced weapons into Iran under cover of darkness. 5:33 a.m. 78 minutes later. Total failure. Weapons denied. Message sent. Here's what I need from you. 1. Subscribe, because these real stories beat fiction every time. 2. Comment, what surprised you most? The submarine? The electronic warfare? The ending? 3. Share with someone who thinks they understand modern naval operations. This community grows because you engage. You ask questions. You share perspectives. That's what makes this more than a channel, it's a conversation. To the sailors doing this work, surface ships, submarines, aircraft crews, your professionalism prevents wars. We see you. Until the next one, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember that the best victories are the ones where no one has to die. See you soon.